Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to some more Stalker Gamma, playing as a mercenary on Ironman mode. And today we are in army warehouses, and we will be dipping down towards Bloodsucker Village in the middle of the night. You know, what's the worst that can happen? But we're going to be doing so in a new set of armor. The Graphite Stalker suit, which I previously had. And I've also equipped the SVD, because I've done a little bit of thinking and a little bit of comparing of ammunitions. The SVD, on some of its more powerful ammo choices, has incredible penetration for some really good damage. So, the SVD with the right ammo is a beast, especially against other stalkers. When it comes to mutants, it's a little bit less so. A little bit more, I don't want to call it problematic. Because it still does a fair bit of damage, but you're going to need multiple shots. And well, there's a bag suit as well. Not quite sure what the difference is, to be quite brutally honest with you. At any rate, really? Every time. At any rate, as I was saying, I've elected to go with that as my option. And then, other than that, I need to use a bandage and some painkillers here to fix my leg. Which is not generally how you fix broken legs, but I'm not quite sure what to think about the healing system, so... Okay. That was close. Would have ended very differently. In the other room. Bound to be here, right? There's the sodding stash. Is it this underneath? It is not. Oh, nothing else. Plenty of loose loot around. See if I can find it like this. Not here. Is it atop the house? Could be. Ah. Right, yeah, this makes a lot more sense. Should probably now explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I had to downgrade the armor, because this is going to be my disguise. Not against Freedomers, which I've learned doesn't work, but against Gate Guard, or Gatekeeper, or whatever it is. It is, effectively, just a dude, except it's not. Because it's a dude in an exoskeleton armed with an AS Val who is currently single-handedly holding back a monolith invasion from army warehouses. And he's doing so rather successfully for a very long time now. And so that should give you some idea about the kind of person we're dealing with. Now, he doesn't like mercenaries much, and as a result he may try and kill me on sight. And so to prevent that, I've decided to go with... You know, I genuinely did not see you up until this point. That is all on me, I'm going to be honest with you, but yeah. Also expected a headlight. What can you do? Anywho, I did receive word that he needs some help, because there is an upcoming monolith invasion, and he would like my help to get rid of, well, said monolith invasion, right? And I would very much like to help him, because that's kind of what I'm paid to do, honestly. AK Alpha. There is not a single world in which we are not taking that weapon. And the whole NATO mercenary ammunition situation be damned, right? We are taking this weapon. When I say that this is a good gun, especially when it's upgraded, I think you see what I mean. Because the 338 Lapua just wouldn't do that. It missed so many times that I just got rid of it. I mean, I didn't sell it or anything, I just put it in the stash. I think the 338 would be a phenomenal gun for hunting. And as it turned out, I've been misnaming it, and I did it on purpose now, just to sort of illustrate the point. It's not 338 Lapua, it's 338 Federal. Now, I know the ammunition was 338 Federal, I just thought it was the same cartridge, or at least the same size of cartridge, with the Federal having a different tip, right? So, the same way you have 545 hollow point, AP, and full metal jacket, right? I thought it was that sort of situation, and that if I wanted to, I could equip the same weapon with 338 Lapua Magnum with a full metal jacket core or a steel core or something like that, and that would be the case. It is not. A sniper rifle chambered in 338 Lapua Magnum is different. It's a different barrel, it's a different receiver, it's a different configuration, and these are not exchangeable. I did not know that. And so, as a result of me not knowing, I was convinced that I had one of the better weapons, as far as snipers are concerned, that I can acquire in the whole area. Yeah, it turns out I don't. Not really. Anyways, time to put on the disguise. Most stalkers are now going to assume that I'm part of the free stalker community. Unfortunately, the weapon that I'm wielding, this M4, is not really going to convince them of something like that. However, the SVD should, because the SVD is, well, you know. Maybe not the most common weapon among loners, but it is one that is accessible to them. Bottom side of... Let's not step into that. Bottom side of the screen currently depicts a bar of some description. I have no idea what it means, before you ask. I think it's my suspicion, and I think as I run, it should increase, because sprinting increases your subscription. Your suspicion. On the other hand, I am now approaching someone, and my suspicion is rising through the roof. Well, maybe not through the roof, maybe that's a bit much, but... yeah. This is Gatekeeper. I've been following well, okay. I can't read all of this because I'm in disguise and I need to get going. And what I need to get going with is the fact that there is a monolith invasion, and we can talk to the Gatekeeper afterwards. Exosuit through the head and a kill shot immediately. I'm gonna admit, the rate of fire on this weapon is not the best. There's a little bit of a delay between shots. You can't really just treat it entirely like a semi-automatic weapon. What the fuck just shot me? Yeah, over time, I've built up, like, 3 lives or so I can waste them here doing this. Well, waste them, you know what I mean? I can spend them doing this here, but Okay, that guy has some serious issues with me. And also some serious weaponry. Okay. Right. Stop bleeding now as well. There's more people. Coming people, well, you consider monolith people. But there's more of them coming through the barrier. Okay, now it says this is it. No. Not always. First of all, he was shooting at me with 5.56. No, maybe it wasn't this guy. Because I don't have a different explanation. Also didn't know I can realize... I didn't know I can realize. I didn't realize I can use... regular sights with this. Yeah, I told you it wasn't over. Someone also said you're not fooling anyone, idiot, which I think means I've been discovered. Which is highly unfortunate. But, there's also precious little I can do about that. How's the armor holding up? The armor's at 85%. Maybe that's the reason I've been discovered. Who knows? Kind of seems like there's at least one more guy out there, because I heard a shot ring past my ears. And I'm not sure what or who it was. But the gatekeeper is coming back. He doesn't seem to mind my presence, nor does he seem to be shooting at me, so... there's always something positive to look to, I suppose. And we're now going to see just how many people he killed. I reckon about twice as many as I have. You know, at the very least. Oh dear. Well, there's some freedomers here, so it's not all his kills, thankfully, because otherwise I'd be very concerned. Am I going insane? Because I thought I saw someone. Okay, this guy has an FN Scar. And the barrel on it is not particularly incredible. But I am taking the FN Scar because as soon as the barrier situation is dealt with, I am not going back to RPK. what I got hit with. I think it was from up here. This is one of the first guys I shot. Definitely wasn't him. The AK-5C. Taking that as well. Like I mentioned previously, as soon as this situation is cleared out, I am definitely not going past the barrier immediately into Monolith territory. First of all, not with this outfit on. God no, I need better protection. Second of all, I need to, get rid of all this stuff. The SIG SG-550. I don't see much of a point in it when I have all of these things, so no. Plus, it's a lot to carry. A Steyr Scout. Interesting. A Desert Eagle. I'll take the Desert Eagle, especially with the good barrel. I'm missing a Desert Eagle. This is also one of the guys that I shot. Now, he has a SIG 550, but an upgraded one. And that's one that I'm willing to take. Okay. And that is now a lot of stuff. Now, here we go. This is the tricky part. First and foremost, I remove this. And then I put it back on. Most stalkers will assume you're part of the free stalker community. Okay, that's what I want. I am then going to grab the SVD in hand. And I'm ever so slowly going to approach this guy. First of all, I'm going to save. Because, and then also I'm going to do this. Because, yeah. Let me explain what happens. You talk to the gatekeeper, and he turns hostile. That's what happens. Because I'm a mercenary and not the best of, relationships with him. Well, with loners in general. With a disguise, that does not happen. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I find it a bit... first of all, he didn't kill that many people. I saw like just a couple of monolith soldiers that he downed. Maybe there's a couple more that way, but all claimed, so it doesn't matter. To me, it's kind of fascinating that this isn't really stated anywhere. You have to sort of learn by... sorry. Bit my tongue. You have to sort of learn by experience. And it's not even the only problem. The problem is he's not hostile towards you at first. You can go and talk to him. You can do the quest. The moment you're done with the quest is when he turns hostile. I'm sorry, but that stinks of bullshit a little bit to me. It really feels like that shouldn't be the case. Again, to me at least. I don't know, maybe I have weird notions about what should and should not be, but yeah. At any rate, that's what happens. So, it's time to lug all of this incredibly heavy gear and incredibly advanced gear as well to Dead City. And that's going to be a bit of a trek. First of all, because I'm going through hostile territory. Freedomers don't really love me. Second of all, I'm going through an area that's... well, I'm going at night, which is also a problem. All kinds of issues there. But now that I'm away from everyone... I'm going to remove the loner patch. Now, everyone knows I'm a mercenary again. Which is very important because, like I said, I've done some testing previously, and mercenaries will not shoot me if I'm in disguise. They will know. They will always know. We use a friend or foe disguise, or friend or foe identification system, which is too advanced for me to explain, because there isn't one. But other groups like bandits, renegades, freedomers, duty, military, etc., they will know, or they will not know that I'm in disguise. Practically speaking, for mercenaries, what this means is if I run into bandits, they will shoot me, and if I shoot back at the bandits, I will lose reputation with the bandits and they will turn permanently hostile, even after I take off the disguise. So they'll know that it's me shooting them, but they won't know it's me that they're shooting at. You can explain this with the fact that the PDA system has a kill tracker and the kill feed, and it'll say that I killed some bandits, and that information will get relayed to Sultan, and he will relay it to all his men, and so on and so forth. And yeah, sure, you can explain it that way. But, the problem with that is twofold. One, how do they know it's me? Like, full gear on, mask and everything. PDA doesn't track every single contact. That's the first question. Second question is self-defense, right? Is that not allowed? Am I not allowed any modicum of self-defense? Well, I guess not. At any rate, going back to Dead City to... Now we're safe from this point on, so I can do it off camera. Going back to Dead City to clean all of this up, the inventory, I mean, store all of this stuff away, and probably... I don't know, maybe fix up the Scar, because it's an incredible weapon. Maybe fix up the AK Alpha. I will see. One of those things will happen. It depends on how much 7.62 ammo I can buy off of my quartermaster. But I did not mean to open this. But other than that, like, I also have this SIG SG, which it's pretty good, right? Picatinny rail and everything, I know what I can put on it. Put the 1:6 scope on it. And use the RMR rail from the side as a sort of, you know, extra little tidbit, if you will. That's brilliant, and then there's a few other things I can do here.
Quit playing spy games and talk to me.
Yeah. We will see. Okay, first of all, let me repair this. The rest I don't need to, and let's get out of here. Ever so slowly lugging all of this stuff. Actually, before I cross over, is there anything I can disassemble that might be... Like, honestly, not really. Couple of useful things, but mostly I'm still going to be well above the 101 kg range, so that's not going to help with anything. And we're back. In a quick little second, there was an emission, so I had to wait through that and sort all of this stuff out, left all the guns and things over there, and I'll show you the inventory. But first and foremost, I want to show you the Desert Eagle. In reality, the Desert Eagle is not the greatest pistol in the universe. However, this one, chambered in 357, is actually a little bit better than the one chambered in 50 Action Express. It's a little bit more manageable, a little bit more reliable, etc., or at least that's what I've heard. I don't have any personal experience with it, so take everything I say with a pinch of salt, but Yeah, I've heard that it's you know, big, iconic, impressive, and all those things, but in reality, it's you know, it's not all that. However, like I said, chambered in 357 Magnum, or even in 44, it's probably a lot more manageable and a lot more, you know, a lot more reasonable. Anywho, I want you to just listen to the gun. That sounds like the heaviest release slide and bolt mechanism, although it doesn't have a bolt mechanism, the heaviest slide mechanism and everything that I've heard in this game, rightfully so, because look at how huge this thing is. Just look at it. Absolutely enormous and gorgeous. And I have upgraded it significantly to improve its accuracy and reliability, so yeah. It does 104 damage, and its advantage over the previous weapons that I had that were also chambered in 357 hollow point is that it has a 9-round magazine, so that's great. There's also been another change, and as you can see, I've spent about 100,000 rubles on that change. Now, what is that change? I will show you in but a second. I put a 4x scope on the Dragunov. Dragunov, you gave 100,000 for a 4x scope. Yeah. It's thermal. And so, my mercenary friends forgive me, I can't really see that guy over there. And I reckon neither can you. But now we can see him perfectly. Also, something I wanted to test out is, you can see people, I think, through bushes very, very well. And we can test that right here. So, obviously, the metal post is getting in the way, but yeah, there you go. Compare it to trying to shoot someone like this. Or better yet, compare it to the old scope with a lot more magnification. I mean, I know the guy's there, but let's shake up the screen a little bit and see whether we can find him. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, I've been shot. Right? With the thermal, less magnification, but immediate target acquisition, and blam. So, this is a device that I have specifically used. I haven't used it yet. This device I specifically bought for one purpose and one purpose alone. And that is going to radar, because the road to radar is chock full of all manner of nonsense, from mutants to monolith troops to God knows what else. And for that, we're going to need not one, not two, not three, but 4 weapons. And thankfully, with the new backpack and the armor and everything, we are able to carry them. 4th weapon is going to be this. The KS-23 Shorty. I've shortened the barrel on it, so it's a little bit more manageable. This I intend on using exclusively and only within radar itself, or the lab that lies underneath radar. However, as I'm sure you are aware, getting to radar is going to be probably one of the most challenging things I have attempted in this game in general, period. And so, it's going to take a bit of work. However, I think with adequate preparation, anything can be achieved. So, shrapnel shot for the 23x75 massive shotgun. Give me loads of those. And I would also like a few barricadas, if at all possible. I just realized that this uses a large rifle propellant, which is hilarious to me, but yeah. So that's going to be the ammunition for that, and then the rest is all of this. I also probably don't have enough to craft enough ammo for the sniper rifle. Yeah, that sniper rifle ammo is going to be a bit tough to get, although I could grab some regular FMJ ammo. About 40 rounds, 50 rounds or so, just in case. Right. And then, yeah, that's about it. As you see, with all this ammunition, we need to get through army warehouses, which is a challenge in and of itself, and then to radar. And, from radar to the brain sculpture. It's tough. It's tough. The road to there is tough. Luckily, there is a rest spot right here. And I'm counting on that.
How's your family doing?
Because I'm also going to bring a backpack with me. A regular backpack with me. Yeah. And we're off. I'm also going to make a hard save here in case I live to regret this horribly. Because you never know. But I reckon between the thermal scope, the 5.56 rifle with APs, which I've spent also a considerable amount of money on, because we now have 120 of those and 320 of these. We can get to radar, and once inside, we can rely a little bit more on the shotgun to sort of power us through everything. In terms of medication, what I'm bringing is humble, but I also don't have much of a choice. And so, we're back in army warehouses. I know, the entire episode is just army warehouses, and we're ironically probably going to do the same route again, because I need to pick up... Okay, may we? Thank you. Because I need to pick up the tools as well. But, yeah. Well, tools. There's going to be some set of tools in the box over there. So there is that. I could check to see if the Freedomers are feeling any more forgiving today. I suppose now that I did help fend off the assault and everything, they could be. You never know. It's just oh, I wonder. How does this scope see the fire? It doesn't see the fire anomaly, it just sees targets. Wow. Okay, so I thought it being a thermal scope, it would get distracted by, well, silly me, thermals and thermal signatures like this. It doesn't. Not sure if that's technically possible. I think... in theory, it is. You could have a thermal scope that's sort of almost fine-tuned to display certain temperatures, right? In theory. Kind of have like a computer in it that's going to go, right, that's way too hot, that's not a human body, and so we'll just black it out. Technically speaking. But... at this point, we're talking about implementing a computer into a scope, which has been done. And I think this is one of those things that a lot of people don't really know. Is that what's the IBAS suit compared to what I have? Not very well. Also, basic tools. Ew. Yeah. Here's the thing. It has been done, and I think this is what a lot of people don't... What do you mean, Psy-Storm? There was a storm like a few minutes ago. Oh, for crying out loud. Fine. At least I'll get to finish my sentence. Uninterrupted, hopefully. Although I do have to watch out for people trying to run to cover here. So make sure I switch to full metal jacket, because not enough targets here worth shooting APs at. Anywho, as I was saying, the one thing I find kind of, like, pretty interesting is that a lot of people don't know it has been done already. There are scopes with effectively a whole-ass computer inside them, which calculate everything you need to make the shot.
I'm tired of this shit.
Like, literally, pretty much everything you need. They will account for range, distance, gravity, humidity, wind, I don't know, the curvature of the Earth, everything that you could possibly need. The scope will calculate it, will measure it, and then it'll show you where to shoot. It'll compensate based on that. I did not see you walk in unless you were here to begin with. You are the world's sneakiest bandit. You do know this, yes? Because this is what, the third time or the second time that I've had the exact same problem with you, that you've just snuck up on me and then scared the daylights out of me. I find that fairly funny, to be honest with you, more than anything else. I am wondering whether the Freedom guys are a little bit more forgiving now, though. Now that I've, you know... Like, who wants to check with me? The lack of, like, a ridiculous amount of magnification on this scope kind of makes it easier to use as well. Because your field of view is fairly limited, and there's nothing you can do to change the scope. So it's just white on black. You can't change it to black on white, or, you know, colored, or whatever it is. It is what it is. But you can sweep the area like this for targets, and that is valuable. Well, let's not kid around, that is very valuable. Especially yourself in a position like this. Although, that said, I would like the option to turn the scope's thermals off and on, because I know basically all scopes have that, right? They function as a regular scope, and then the thermal is an added function. Gatekeeper is fighting a chimera. You would not have known this otherwise, were it not for this scope. Ah, SVD brother, lovely. So you have seen the wisdom of the SVD ways as well. I wonder if the gatekeeper will shoot me now that I'm in a different uniform, so to speak. Dunno. Also wondering whether defending the barrier doesn't trigger the ceasefire between loners and mercs. I think turning off the brain scorcher does. Although that could be different here. Okay, road seems empty. We can just cross. And there's not much of a point in checking this, to be honest with you, but... well, we'll check later. We'll check. Like, if they're not friendly now, they should be friendly, maybe, later down the line when, you know, we do another great thing for everyone in the zone, and hopefully they will love us then. And forgive us the one time I accidentally friendly fired someone. But hey. This is Remington 700. Not as good as my SVD, is all I'm going to say. Not as good. Okay, I am a bit thirsty, a bit hungry, and a bit a bit sleepy, so I have all of the needs to take care of, but I can do that. This right here. And I do have some brewed coffee, which will reduce my sleepiness considerably. Which is why I brought it, just for situations like this. And there we go. So, without any further ado, we are off to radar. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you next time. Until then, have fun. Take care. Bye-bye.